Hello and welcome to Unwind Sessions, where right after my shift I give the highlights of the workday and answer any questions that might have been asked at a previous session. My name is Juan. I am an English, Spanish, medical video remote consecutive interpreter with over 4 years of experience. And today is Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. Today I took a total of 35 sessions, always a mix between video sessions and audio sessions. And today was quite an uneventful day. One thing that I do have to mention is nothing related to interpreting, but just to my day, is that I just logged into my shift and then all of a sudden it was 4:30 already. So like 7.5 hours had already passed before I even knew it. Like I remember going to get some lunch, but it was 4:30. I was like, oh man, it's already 4:30 and I don't have any recollection of the past 7.5 hours. So it was a good day today. It went by pretty fast, uneventful, pretty straightforward. And when that happens, it's because I believe like I'm in the zone. I'm just listening to the interpretation, and it just time travel so fast that all of a sudden I just have an hour left in my shift. So pretty much a very good shift today, and that's something pretty good because lately I've been a little bit off with my interpretations because there's a lot of stuff going on in my mind. My life is a little hectic right now. Everything is very good though. Everything is going great and is getting better, which is awesome. But thoughts just dig into my mind whenever I'm interpreting because of all the things that are going on, and that's no good. So it was pretty nice, a nice experience today to actually be in the zone for a lot of sessions, and that just makes my day by. So let's get to it. Since there are no highlights, I'm gonna get right into Rosa Brewer's question, which she asked for advice in the written portion of the BCMI. Now, first of all, like always, I would like to let you know that I've never taken the NBCMI or the CCHI, and I'm not certified, and I never will be certified because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be an interpreter for, and I don't need those certifications to work right now at this moment. So it doesn't make sense for me to actually go through the stress and to pay that amount to actually get certified, because it's not going to help me in the future. But that is not to say that you shouldn't get certified. Of course, I suggest that you get certified if you are looking to be an interpreter for the long run. I believe it is something that is worth your time because it'll make you stand out from the crowd, and it'll guarantee that you have a very good medical interpretation knowledge. So please take all of this advice with a grain of salt, and I'm going to be as thorough as I can, and I am going to make sure to give you like really good advice, the best advice that I can give. But keep in mind that I've never taken this test. So let's get started. Now, the way that I'm going to say this is I have the NBCMI handbook right in front of me, and I'm just going to read the outline of the written exam, and then after that I'm just going to give some pretty general tips on test taking. So right off the bat, it says that the written exam is offered in English only, so that's pretty nice, and that is multiple choice. Awesome. It's computerized. Great. It contains 51 questions, and now the written exam evaluates 8% for topic number 1, which is the roles of the medical interpreter. And the roles are role of conduit, role of clarifier, role of cultural broker, and role of patient advocate. And I do have an online session about this. Is probably called like that, roles of the interpreter, or I believe it is called like that, roles of the interpreter. So go ahead and have a look at that, and that is going to help you with topic number 1. And of course, if you still need more information so that you can have enough confidence to pass that test, then I suggest going ahead and looking up information on that. It's not really that hard to find. And so topic number 2, 15%, is medical interpreter ethics. Now, I haven't talked about this. I probably talked about accuracy. I probably talk about some of these, but not all of them. And I honestly, I wouldn't know what online sessions I've talked about them. But I was just looking at all of them, and there's like tons of ideas and great topics for future videos. So expect future videos in all of the topics, and I'm going to be covering them in detail in the online session. So that is something nice that you can look forward to. But for the time being, let's just say what 15%, topic number 2 for medical interpreter ethics contains. It contains confidentiality, accuracy and completeness, impartiality, conflict of interest, scope of practice, disqualification, impediments to performance, professional courtesy, and professional development. Now, these are extensive topics, which I am not going to get into them in detail in this video. I'm just gonna go ahead and mention them, and I believe that those are very important topics that every interpreter should know about, and you're just gonna have to go ahead and look them up, the medical interpreter ethics, and learn them, because they are going to make your life easier, and of course they're gonna help you pass the test. And 8% is topic number 3, which is cultural competence. Now, this includes cultural practices related to healthcare, familial and relational structures. Now, for this one, I am not really sure what familiar and relational structures is, but for sure I will be making a video in all of those topics like I mentioned. 38% of the test, topic number 4, is medical terminology in working languages. And this has medical tests and diagnostic procedures, medical apparatus, pharmacology, pathologies, symptomatology, anatomy, musculoskeletal system, endocrine system, cardiovascular system, respiratory system, urinary system, nervous system, digestive system, reproductive system, integumentary system, which I just learned is like hair, skin, and other stuff. I don't remember what it was. And treatments, acronyms, and abbreviations. So that is quite extensive stuff. If you go ahead and join our Patreon and support us, we have some vocabulary lists to help you get started. Each vocabulary list has about 50 terms, so that is a lot of stuff. And if we get into all of this, I believe that this is very extensive. It's so many words, and honestly, like for a beginner, if I wasn't an interpreter right now, if I didn't have this experience, this would seem so overwhelming to me. Like honestly, I don't know. I would be nervous as hell, honestly. Of course, right now I have a lot of experience. I have an extensive vocabulary in all of these topics. And even though I have extensive vocabulary and experience in these topics, if I had to take this test just from looking at this, it would take me a good 2 weeks to prepare. And that's just not even knowing what it's going to be about, but just looking at all the topics. Honestly, I would say I wouldn't go to take that test without a good 2 weeks preparation. And I was looking at several articles, and there was one article that said that this person was going to take a group and they were going to study for 6 weeks, like for a good 6 weeks before actually attempting to take the test. And this person, they were people that had already taken the 40-hour initial interpretation course that you need, right? And they had experience as well as pediatric interpreters. So I mean, these were experienced people. These are people that are already professionals and are already working, but they're not certified, and they think it takes 6 weeks to prepare. I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna say probably 2 weeks is a little bit of time, but I mean, if I had to do it, I would say nothing less than 2 weeks of actually going ahead and just practicing for this test. And like I mentioned, we have some of lists that might help you, vocabulary lists that might help you in our Patreon page, but they don't cover everything. But believe me, I'm gonna work hard. We're gonna be working hard in the future to be able to cover all of this to help all of you. And I thank you for bringing this to my attention, because I had never even thought about it until I actually opened up the handbook. So moving on, 23% is topic number 5, medical specialties in working languages, obstetrics and gynecology, and genetic counseling. I hate genetic counseling because they just have some very, very weird diseases that you're never even gonna hear of again. And I just hate it. That is like my Achilles heel. If I'm getting a genetic counseling, I am for sure gonna be looking up vocabulary words, because some of those diseases are just rare. If they're in genetic counseling, it's because they the doctor or the genetic counselor or the doctor, or somebody, a medical provider, thinks that there's something wrong with the baby, or they definitely found something wrong with the fetus. And I just dislike those calls so much. But for obstetrics and gynecology, I got you covered with 30 terms in on the previous online sessions, the previous 3 online sessions. So you're okay with that. And I would say, like, before I read everything else, I would say, like, for each of these little specific topics, for example, obstetrics and gynecology, I would say study the top 50 terms. And those are going to be tough to find. We have some of them on our Patreon page, but like I said, not all of them. So how would I do it? How would I, if I had to study for this test, what would I do? If I couldn't get those lists from Patreon from us, that would be number one. I would try my hardest. I would try to see. And if you guys for some reason don't or can't afford a Patreon, we understand. We were in your situation. Just reach out to us and tell us your story, tell us what's going on, and we are here to help. We are here to help you guys, and please don't let your lack of money keep you from reaching out to us so that we can actually help you. I'm sure we can figure something out. It doesn't need to be money related. We can help you out. We're here for you guys, and we really wanna give you that confidence boost for you to be able to go into that test and actually know that you're going to nail it and actually nail it. So we are here for you guys, and don't let maybe you don't have a credit card, maybe you are in a tough financial situation right now. We got you, but please reach out to us and we can help. And if you do have the money to support us, then all contributions are welcome, and thank you for that. All right, so now moving on, let me go ahead and read the list. It's obstetrics and gynecology, genetic counseling, organ transplant, pharmacy, ear, nose, and throat, or ENT, pediatrics, emergency medicine, oncology, surgery, orthopedics, radiology, nutrition counseling, physical, speech and occupational therapy, urology, nephrology, endocrinology, ophthalmology, cardiology, neurology, hematology, dermatology, psychiatry, and respiratory illnesses. Now, for all these topics and for the medical terminology in working languages and medical specialties in working languages, I would suggest looking topic by topic, like I mentioned, and just look for like a must know vocabulary, 50 top vocabulary words for each specialty or for each topic that you're looking for. And I believe if you just study that, you should be good to go. I wouldn't suggest like really going into and learning like every vocabulary word that you can find, because there are some things that are very rare and very technical, and you are probably never going to hear them. So just like the whatever Google suggests, whatever list people have previously made, that these are words that you must know, go ahead and practice those, because these are just so extensive, and I wouldn't recommend to study less than 50 terms from each list, because I think 50 terms covers a pretty comprehensive list of every possible term that you are going to work with. And I'm pretty sure if you study less than 50 terms, you are going to struggle in that test. So hear this advice, and those are going to be very extensive lists. So 6 weeks preparation seems like not that far-fetched idea. So take your time with studying, and make sure you study everything thoroughly and that you know it. Moving on to 5% is topic number 6, Interpreters Standards of Practice, IMIA, International Medical Interpreter Association Standards, NCIHC, National Council on Interpreting in Healthcare Standards, and CHIA, California Healthcare Interpreters Association Standards. Now, those you are going to have to look up, and I'm pretty sure that you can find those lists, and you're going to just have to study those. Topic number 7, Legislation and Regulations, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA. That's very, very important. Every day, in my job and every company that I worked for, I've only worked for 2, but every company that I worked for interpreting, we have to get HIPAA certification every year. And lastly is class, culturally and linguistically appropriate service standards. So that is a lot to cover, but honestly, like I would say that this is perfect. Like, this is perfect. Honestly, if you have all of these studies and all of this terminology, you are going to do great. You're going to do great as a medical interpreter. And of course, passing this test and getting the certification is going to prove it. And I am pretty confident that once you actually acquire the certification, like, the rest of your life or the rest of your interpreting career is going to be a cakewalk, because you already have like most of the knowledge that myself and pretty much a lot of interpreters that have just been working like this experience without certification. I'm pretty sure that everything we have learned throughout the years, if we would have just been certified, that would have taken a lot of the guesswork out and a lot of like the extensive vocabulary list that I had to learn afterwards. So that is something that is really nice. And like I told you, I am going to be making videos with all of these topics, and I'm going to be explaining them in detail, and I'm going to be making those vocabulary lists for Patreon. So moving on, I have an article here with just general test information, and I'm gonna read it. I thought it was pretty good. I'm sorry that I can't give you more specific information, but um, I mean, I've never taken this test, so I don't know what else to tell you, but I hope this is helpful. And preparation tip number one is don't procrastinate and don't cram. I mean, honestly, if you are going to procrastinate with this test, I don't think you're gonna do well because there's just so much information that you have to cover it. And cramming, I don't think cramming is gonna help you at all. Like, honestly, like the article said, 6 weeks. You're not going to do 6 weeks in a week. I'm sorry. And if you can, then awesome. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure not everyone is going to be able to do that. And don't procrastinate. Plan your study time. Definitely make time for study and make sure that you only study during that time. Like, for example, have a set time every day, maybe 2 hours a day, 3 hours, whatever your schedule allows for, as many hours as you can. Take breaks every 2 hours. 15-minute breaks every 2 hours is good enough. If you need to take a longer break, that's great, but make sure that you're taking breaks and that you're studying and really studying, not Facebook studying and stuff, you know. Watch for clues. Definitely all of the questions are going to have clues. Another clue that is going to help you is learn medical roots. I have like unwind session that talks a little bit about medical roots. I'm sorry, not a lot in detail, but it's good enough to get you started, and go ahead and learn those medical roots because those are really going to help you a lot in deciphering the definitions for the medical terminology. Ask your teacher for direction. I don't know about that. Arrive early on the test day. Yeah, I think you could arrive early on the test day, and then just what I would suggest is those terms that you are really struggling on, because I'm pretty sure there are going to be some terms that no matter how much you try to learn them, and they're just not going to stick. One thing that helped me is to actually get a cheat sheet. Go ahead and print out a cheat sheet of all of those terms that you don't know, as many as it can be, 50, 100 terms. That seems comprehensive due to the amount of things that you're gonna have to study. And yeah, so my phone died, so I had to wait like half an hour to actually finish recording this video. Hopefully it doesn't die anymore. Such a rookie mistake. I didn't charge my phone, and I thought that just by plugging it into the electric outlet would allow me to record, but I think it's just too many resources for my phone, that it actually drained the battery to zero and it just turned off. So I'm sorry about that. So I will have to render it, which I hate, but this will probably be able to last longer. So anyways, moving on, like I told you, you're gonna show up, well, I would show up early on test day. And where's my mouse? Okay, so I would show up early on test day with my cheat sheet, and I would practice as much as I can with that cheat sheet. Of course, you're not gonna take it in to the testing site or to the testing room, to the test room, right? You're not gonna walk in there with your little cheat sheet. Of course, I'm pretty sure they will not allow you to do that. But outside, before you even go in there, you can be studying all of those really hard words that you didn't learn during all your study sessions. And that is something that is going to help you, because it's just going to focus your mind onto those words that are really hard and that you might not remember, and it will ease you with the rest of easier vocabulary that you find easier, right? So definitely yes, arrive early on test day so that way you can have a little bit more time to study your cheat sheet. That is um, one advice that I can give you, definitely. Review early and review with a group. Yes, yes, there is no substitute for reviewing with a group, especially if you find someone that is also going to take the test with you. That is going to be awesome because there's not going to be a better practice buddy, right? You are going to learn while you're testing your buddy, and you are going to learn when your buddy is testing you, so you get double the learning for um, half the time, right? Actually, not half the time. No, that doesn't make sense. You get double the learning at the same time. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking with that. I'm sorry. But yeah, you are going to get much more time because it's also going to help you to actually, when you're testing him, you're going to be seeing the answers. So that is also good review. So definitely yes, and don't wait till the last minute like it has already been mentioned. Use visual aids. Yes, definitely use visual aids. If you can have like a little picture with the vocabulary word so that every time you see it you picture it in your mind, that is going to help you a lot, definitely. We have an anatomy practice video. Go ahead and practice that. That's a perfect visual aid for you to learn. It doesn't have definitions, but it has the Spanish translation, and just by looking at it, it'll give you an idea. Now you are going to have to get the definition somewhere else, but that is definitely a great tool, and all the great visual tools that you can do, like vocabulary flashcards and all of that stuff, diagrams, pictures, definitely that is going to help. Stay healthy, yes, rest, exercise, good nutrition, that is definitely going to make a big difference, like I've mentioned in some other videos. So yes, definitely I would recommend staying healthy, get plenty of sleep. Yes, of course, that is recommended, and that is going to be one of the best things that is going to keep you stress free and everything during the test. But if you're like me, you are probably not going to be sleeping the last day of the test. So what I like to do is and this is just the test or not, I don't go to sleep until like my eyes are shutting on their own. So and it doesn't matter what time that is. It usually is around 12 midnight. But if it goes to 12:31, I'm not gonna go to sleep until my eyes shut, or else I'm just gonna be there in bed just flipping over like a hamburger. So yeah, definitely try to get some sleep. If you can't get some sleep, I would suggest get up and study some more. Definitely get up and study some more until your eyes shut, but try to get as much sleep as you can. Stay hydrated and use the bathroom. Yes, definitely. I always have my water bottle with me everywhere that I go, and I stay hydrated, and I use the bathroom. So definitely yes, yes, yes. And that is the last piece of advice that this article has for us. So definitely good advice, and I am sorry that I couldn't help you further, because I mean, honestly, I am not going to give you tips for something which I've never experienced. So this is like very superficial, but I hope it helps you in some way. And of course, like I told you, if you can get those vocabulary lists from Patreon, go ahead and get them. And if not, you can always reach out to us. And I'm not just speaking about you, Rosa. I'm speaking about everyone. If you guys are going through something, you know that we love you and you have our love, and we just want to help you. Go ahead and explain the situation, and we'll help you the best way that we can. And if you can support us on Patreon, then we also love you as well. And if you don't support us monetarily, if you don't support us financially, we still love you guys, and we want to see you succeed, and we want that bar to rise in interpretation. So I hope this video was helpful, and remember that I'm gonna be doing more videos so that I can help you in more detail in all of the topics that are covered on the BCMI written portion of the test. So that is going to be pretty much it for me today. Please leave your questions on the comments, and I will answer some of them on the next session. Remember that I'll be here every Monday through Friday after work, and also I've already mentioned it, this is the third time that I'm going to mention, we have a Patreon page where you can support us with little as $1, and you help motivate us to create much more content, and we give you access to everything on the Patreon page. That includes medical practice videos ad-free, scripts for the medical videos, answer sheets for the medical videos, vocabulary lists, and much more content. We are going to be releasing soon some medical interpretation practice, which are going to be released first in Patreon. Some of them are going to be exclusive to Patreon, and others are going to be uploaded to YouTube in the future. But yeah, definitely guys, go ahead and get that. And of course, the most important thing is that not only do you get all of that wonderful content for medical interpreters, but you also win a place inside of our heart. And I don't even know where my heart is at, right? It's on the left side. my heart, yeah, no, my heart, I'm pretty sure it's on the left side. I don't even know. But anyways, yeah, definitely. And we love you. We love all of our Patreons. We love all of our subscribers, and you are making all of this possible. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the video for much more content, and don't forget to share. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.